Samot ang bright kayo, nag-drive sa gabi. Okay. Are we good, bro? Yes, sir.
Uy, buting isda lagi dere. Oh, para kang
fresh.
Go. It's going live.
Yeah, dito lang. Pa-share ako sa itong live.
Are we already live?
We are live.
Are we live?
Good afternoon, guys. This is again Berol Racing Channel, and here we are again live at Doris Diner, the freshest seafood in town, right?
Fresh.
Hell yes.
Hell yes, that you got
Sunday.
it. So what are you waiting for? It's only $598 per person, and this is the place to go if you're looking for seafood. And
Doris
again,
Diner.
this is episode 1, and we have a special guest here today, this afternoon at 3 p.m. And then other than
And then?
our resident tuner builder, of course, of Cris Yap project, Mr. Cris
Yap.
Yap.
Hi, guys.
And we would like to as well acknowledge the presence of our 2 live audiences here, none other than Mr. Norris C.
And
of
Yaron
Appreciation,
Messina.
and Yaron Messina of Marina
Seafood.
Marina Foods. And so we start this. Again, this is an introduction to mainly of who this person is, what does he do, and how it all started.
Yep, so what was the first question again?
But
before we
yeah.
get to know Chris and what he does and what he's gonna explain, we have a video for him.
Yeah. You'd like to
This is,
show.
Oh, shit, really?
This is a clip by Mr. James Morales and Mike Hatamosa, the Berol Racing Channel.
The premiere video
This
of
is
490 wheel horsepower beast.
exactly, guys. So
Yeah.
that's 490 wheels. At the wheels.
Wheels.
So that's not just at the crank, technically speaking. So have a look at the video.
Sige, pwede na akong watch, bro.
Alright, let's have a look.
Ayan, Mike.
There you go. Oh, shit, that was me.
I-mute niya ang black magic.
That'll be the beginning.
Di pa ganun 4K?
Hindi na.
actually.
Nobody?
Yeah. Okay, just leave it out. Yeah, wala na bro.
That was lit, mate.
Thank you, thank you. Kami na?
Mute her microphone.
And we're back.
And we're back, and you have watched the video by Mr. James Morales and Mike Hatamoso.
Man. Yo, man.
Mike the Fresh.
Mike the Fresh. I'm very fresh.
Mike the Fresh
Mike the
Hatamoso
Fresh
giving you
Hatamoso.
that crisp video, guys. And again, a correction from our live audience, it's 490.5 wheel horsepower.
Wheel.
You don't have to leave the 0.5.
The only.
The only.
wheel Honda.
Exactly,
in
guys.
Cebu.
No, technically not really. I mean, there's lots of cars out there that are stronger than that, but you know.
But it's not.
Maybe I could call it the only car that's on a budget.
Oh, budget.
On a budget. If you want to know what or how much that budget is, of course, hit him up. Mr. Cris Yap.
Yes, and
Appreciate
before
it.
we're reading shoutouts na. So, Kevin Rama Laurel, dako na jud ko utang aning Lance Hilerada. More power BRC.
Represent Esquina.
Esquina.
Nice.
Seb Aleman.
Mr. Seven Oliman.
What's up? Norris C. Frank Slade. This is how CC clutch is broken in. Anton Lim, bro.
We're here, bro.
What's
Waiting
up?
for you.
We're here.
What's
Come
up?
by.
Right, so
So let's start.
let's start.
So since you've seen how and what that EK was all about, let's talk about the person behind that. So going to Mr. Cris Yap, bro.
Yep.
How were you drawn, or what draw you to Power Spinner? What has drawn you to Power Spinner?
Let's start this.
How long? When did it start?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that because since the guy who made this, you know, made this possible in a way that I am addicted to is here.
Yes.
He is actually right behind this camera right now. He's not
Oh.
Mr. Norris C.
Yeah. Well, you know, I won't ignore the fact that, you know, family and friends gave it, chipped in, but we were, I mean, as some of you would, you know, might know, I don't know, but we used to be office mates.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And he sat like, you know, I don't know, 2 seats right in front of me. And we would spend maybe the whole day just talking about cars. And shout out to our old employers. We were just, we were slacking back then. Like, we were slacking back then. So
But then again, we're here now, right? So
yeah, I know. So you know, I first owned a Mitsubishi Lancer, and Norris C, I'm talking about, he used to own one as well. And he was like, you know, I told him like, Norris, I want to take this car from another level, and you know, why won't we, you know, engine swap this car?
Yeah.
And he told me you have to learn how to tune. You have to learn how to do this things, like you need to know the ins and outs of
Yeah.
a 4G63. And I was like, yeah, really? I mean, how much would that cost me? So I did my research and all. I was like, this is possible, you know, with money, but it's not possible in a way of, you can be ripped off.
Yeah.
That's A. B, and you might get stuck into a dead end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there's lots of unknowns for me.
Yeah.
So I did another research, and I stumbled upon an old Honda Civic, which happens to be, a modified Honda Civic already. And I was thinking like, this is a good platform to start. And based on my research, the Civic and the Honda itself has its way of modifying their tunes.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a good start. So I just took that opportunity to, to learn what is an internal combustion engine, and then, bought that car. And then I had lots of stories with that car. I mean, if if I'm gonna tell you the story, it would take us ages to finish this. But to cut the story short, I drove the car, I rebuilt the car, drove it again, rebuilt it again. In a span of a year, I rebuilt the car for, I don't know, 10 times. Yeah. That's how long it took me to actually, how do you call this? Get to the tiny bits of a B series engine. So, I mean,
But you started with a B series, not a D series.
I started with a D series. So I had like
Yeah.
remember the green car?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first one, and then I got this B16, and then engine swapped it. So first it was a B16 all motor, and then next it was a B20, and then back to B16 but boosted already. And the thing about that time when I first owned it, I didn't know much about compression ratio. I didn't know much about detonation. So the reason why I rebuilt my engine 10 times in 1 year was me learning what compression ratio is.
Right.
So I learned it the hard way, basically.
So basically,
Experience.
Yeah, experience
Best
teaches
user.
you.
Yeah.
So the reason why I basically detonated. I don't know.
Blew
maybe-
engines up.
Yeah, blew engines up.
Yeah. Blue engines up for the progress and development.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
So and as you know, building engines, rebuilding engines is not cheap.
yeah.
But I took the bullet, bit the bullet, and then, I'm in for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the long haul.
Yeah, so that's where it all started, really. And then, as you all know, guys, Lance is my neighbor, so he could hear me lunch control
Every night.
So he's no stranger with a rowdy car.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's how it all started. And then, with some inputs by friends, influenced by friends, Doris, Lord, some other people that's, who did this way ahead of us.
Yeah.
Shout out to all those guys. They were one of those people that, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
I want to drive like that kind of car.
Yeah.
And,
It's where it all started for all of us.
yeah. That's why we have to give it back to the community.
Exactly.
We have to set a good example for them as well, and tell them that it's not easy, but you can do
Yeah.
it. You can do
It's
it.
doable.
It's
Very
doable, yeah.
doable.
It's about maybe probably having that grit that if you really want to push anything, you're willing to sacrifice a bit of yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called passion.
That's why we're
It's
here.
doing
yeah,
something
it's
out of,
all about passion.
It's
Though.
all about passion, really.
It's doing something that most people wouldn't do, but you don't count the cost, the effort,
Yeah.
you don't count anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's really personally coming from Mr. Cris Yap, guys. It's not easy, but it's doable.
Absolutely.
It's all up to you guys. If you are up for it for the long haul, you may blow some engines up, but it's the price of what you see here now.
Yeah.
It's about 15 years of experience.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 15 years, and that you can't get that instantly.
Yeah.
It's about grit, about drive, it's about power. It's about you just need to put your heart out and make sure that you help the people along the way. Because
Yeah.
when you're doing that in the car community, speaking of community, there are other people that are aspiring to do that, and of course that's why these guys are here, guys. We want to make sure that the Cebu car community is gonna be here for a very long time.
Yeah,
That's why we're
And
here.
united.
absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just helping out each other.
And we want to make also the community much healthier.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
true.
You know, we want everyone to be closer to each other, and not the way that like maulaw mo ko niya mga tana.
Yeah.
That's true.
I want like you guys. I mean, we met and then can I do this and that? I said, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Can I ask you this, or what can we do about this?
Okay.
I'm always open for anything.
I think we have to remove the stigma that
Yeah.
what the knowledge that we have or what we gain is just for our own, but we have to share it. It's best
Exactly.
when it's shared.
Yeah, ego is the enemy here.
No gatekeeping.
No
That's
gatekeeping.
exactly-
It's all love.
Yeah, it's all love.
Special shout outs
Alright.
to Maki Works,
Maki Works, what's up, bro?
A&M Performance, Yaron Messina,
Oh.
Kuya Morrissey, Richie, Tito Chris, hi, Mr. Auto Concepts,
Yeah.
Yo yo.
Bibo P.
Perez. Shout out to Chris Man.
Yeah, he's the Bibo was the guy who clocked my car at 13 seconds on all
Oh,
motor.
nice.
So it was my first 30-second car technically.
Adrian, shout out po, I'm sad, Cris Yap.
Cris Yap.
I love you, bro. Don't be sad.
Don't be sad.
Norrisy, I won't read the moment.
Oh dear.
And anyhow, going back, Chris is here to share the importance of, or
Proper building.
yeah, proper engine maintenance.
Yeah.
If you're new to cars, you have to listen to this
Yeah.
because
Yeah, especially
he has built his motor and
Yeah.
make it reliable,
that's
tested.
That's the one that I like it's reliable, fuel efficient, but still has the power.
Yes.
I'm not sure about the fuel efficiency side.
Nothing is fuel efficient at this time,
Yeah.
especially the gas prices.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
wouldn't call it efficient.
Weirdly enough,
Fuel costly.
James mentioned to me the other day, it costs him less to take the taxi from Consolacion to the dyno rather than bringing his Mustang to the dyno.
Fuel efficiency.
I guess that's where the meme goes. Miles per gallon.
Yeah, that's
Smiles per gallon.
Yep. Come on, lads, you're too American. Gallons, we're
Smiles per liter.
Exactly.
So, yes, going back, so that's really how it all started. If you are, and if you have that drive and passion as well for cars, then of course we are here. We have people like Chris that will help you. Just need to make sure that what we can suggest or what we can remind you of is bring an empty cup. If you really want to learn,
Yeah.
bring an empty cup and be a sponge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
fine.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
So yeah, back to
bring
the
pizza.
idea of reliability.
yeah,
Yeah, reliability is actually dialing in the car. Your mechanic, your builder, your tuner would know how to make your car reliable. They would know what is a proper change oil,
Yeah.
the proper change oil intervals. Some other things like making it efficient, like make sure there's no vacuum leaks, as basic as that. Dialing in your TPS, dialing in your base timing on your distributor. Make sure your timing is synced properly. Those kind of things makes a huge impact on your car in terms of drivability, reliability, and
Basically,
Well,
I won't say efficiency because it still depends on how you
Yeah,
press
yeah,
on
yeah.
the gas.
depends on the foot.
Depends on the foot.
Depends on the
Do I have
foot.
an efficient foot?
Yeah.
And
think so.
talking about reliability, it really depends on, especially being a tuner, bro. I think kabasa ka nga, it all depends on the driver and what his specs are.
Yes and true,
Yeah.
but also you'll have a tuner na would also think about the worst case
Exactly.
scenario. I mean,
That's the
I'm pretty
right-
sure that Norris would tell you that don't load or lag your engine,
Yeah.
or log your engine, or whatever you want to say that. He would say like don't what I say, I don't know if you guys are familiar with loading the engine.
Would that be like?
That would be like, you know, let's say if you're cruising for first gear and then you went third gear, and then you know your RPM is still on low RPM, and then you want to floor it like instantly. That's not good. You
So
have to,
stressing the engine out technically. So in a simple way.
So basically, shift down before.
make sure the
Rev matching.
rev is matched with the speed.
Rev matching.
So what happens there is you're introducing detonation to your engine.
The chances.
Yeah, there's a detonation because what happens is that the engine speed is not up to your vehicle speed. So what happens is that you suddenly open throttle, like abruptly, and then the engine speed is still not up to speed. So what happens is that it would suddenly load the piston. Sudden surge of air would come in, and then what happens is that there's a small window for your engine to react, where your timing is too high, and then your engine needs to be
It's
retired.
close to exploding.
Yeah, so it's basically the piston would be going down because it has more load.
Yeah, more.
So it would break like
That's why it's called engine loading.
You know those taxis like when they're like trying to do high gears, they're like,
right, exactly.
it's like, that's detonation.
Okay.
And aside from you can hear the CVT, but sometimes it's also the detonation bit that you can hear.
That's what it's called.
I have,
When you shift down, when you're in high gear and then your speed doesn't match the gear. That's why it's clack, clack, clack.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That
Diba?
exciting.
I know.
Usually, it's right, kanang taxis yun. Sa garang nga, kanang sukso nila padagan o kusog
Even
sa
though,
kinan o.
Yeah,
I mean, they shift early too. Diba? When it's slow speeding, shift it.
And I know this is digressing already about the topic, but Toyota already has some protection for that right now. That's why they have like the electronic throttle already. I don't know if you noticed this, but yours is a first gen vehicle,
Yeah,
right?
it's cable type.
It's cable type, so you can still have it.
Yeah.
But the earlier, the newer generation of Vios that's drive by wire. So what they do is that when you press like you're giving it 20%, it's actually not 20% on the throttle. They just made it like a little bit delayed, just to avoid the detonation.
Exactly. That's why it appears like the cable type runs quicker than the drive-by-wire types.
Yes.
Suddenly.
Yeah. And also with the help of knock sensors, then
Exactly.
And for those who are not familiar with the jargons that we have,
You can put your comments down.
No, but
Feel free to ask in the comments.
Engine reliability is more of keeping it well maintained.
Yeah, we don't have to learn to know exactly what is this, but what a knock sensor does, what a TPS does. You don't have to learn about that if you want to know how to make your engines reliable. I mean, take for example, reliability. Okay, I'll tell you this. Even when I built the B16 boosted, I built this, with all the jazz in it. I have racing bearings, connecting rods, pistons, and all. One thing's for sure that you need to know is you have to know what type of oil you're using. What is the viscosity of oil you're using?
Especially for boosted cars.
Yes, for boosted engines.
Speaking of oil,
Speaking of oil.
Speaking of oil, it's not because this is Berol supported channel.
Berol.
No, it's not that. But I use 5W50 for my boosted engine, and it's been happy for since it started. I used that on my initial start up until now.
And he even took a trip to Dumaguete, guys.
Yeah, that was 395 kilometers.
Exactly.
And we were honing the whole way, and then we went there. I had friends in Dumaguete that wanted to experience the car, so I let them. And
experience the ups and downs.
It's a different experience.
No, these guys
Different experience.
Yeah, it was a different experience, but going back to the good oil that every manufacturer, let's say for example that you are running a stock Honda Civic VTI D816 or D16 Y5 as you may want to call it. It's an economy engine for Honda. It's not, they call it VTEC, but it's not actually the VTEC that we know that it's high lift. It's not high lift VTEC engine like
Is it
puts you back to your seat.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's not that. It's an economy type of VTEC. So when it runs, like when it's on idle, it's running on 12 valves. And once it hits 3,000 RPM, it opens for 16 valves.
Yeah.
So another a pin engages the intake, the intake workers. So that would make it 16 valve when it's VTEC. So there's ways to modify that one to make it high lift. They call it the mini-me. Yeah, they call it like they install a rocker arm from an older Honda, and
So that they could get the.
they could get the high lift.
Yeah, high lift bolts.
Yeah. But the one that we have right now is more than capable. I ran that. Fastest time was a 15.3, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
On an all motor.
On an all-motor VTI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a 15-second stock car.
Yeah, exactly. That's fast.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
It wouldn't leave you if you want to overtake jeepneys or taxis there.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, you still get the fuel economy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The durability.
Yeah, and also, what type of oil you have to use? It depends on your manufacturer's specification. But in different countries, like colder countries, they have like specific oils. Like, let's say for example, the B16A here in the Philippines. If you read the manual, it is rated at 10W40. But in the States, they rate it at 10W30.
Yeah, it's thinner.
So yeah, we have much harsher climate here, hotter ambient temperature. So we have to adjust a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also making sure your car won't overheat also is a good thing. It's a good idea to keeping it on the road.
Good coolant.
Yeah, good coolant. Make sure.
There's coolant.
Fresh coolant.
Make sure there's coolant.
Yeah, also because overheating or above recommended temperature would detonate. So yeah, I mean
It's hot, but
Yeah,
the
hot.
engine is hot, so they need there's fuel introduced.
Oh,
The fuel
jumping
will
on
burn.
that, bro. How about those people that would like to remove their thermostats?
okay, that's a
I have not been
It's a practice.
there's a
you know.
huge debate
yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a-
I myself don't use that
Yeah.
for my car because
Again, it's a different.
it's a modified
It's
car.
built
and-
different.
Yeah, and I compensate on the tuning side.
Yeah.
And if it's stock,
There you go.
If it's
there you
stock-
go, guys.
run it with thermostat and run it with thermoswitch.
Yeah.
If it's stock.
So when would you want to not run it with a thermostat?
If you could control your fan via the ECU.
So that's where
So
tuning
where
goes
tuning
in.
comes
Yeah, and also when you can, sometimes we call it a hack. I saw other shops like does that, but I don't blame them for doing
Yeah.
this. I mean, it's a quick fix. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it is.
The thermo switch doesn't work all the time.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's faulty.
It's
It
faulty,
really gives
yeah,
us
Sometimes it gets clogged up too.
Yeah, that's true. And because of the type of
Material.
water that we're using
yeah.
here, we've got I don't
Hard
know.
water?
No, it's
Salty.
Mineral.
lime.
Yeah,
lime
hard
rich.
water.
Lime red.
Lime
It
rich.
calcifies.
Yeah.
There's mineral.
It
deposits.
crystallizes.
Yeah.
It crystallizes the water
Mm.
or whatever, and then it destroys the sensor,
Exactly.
and it doesn't read as accurate as that. So that's why we remove it sometimes, and I don't blame them for
Yeah.
just doing a jumper on the thermostat.
True, exactly.
But there's a bad effect on that one. The bad effect for that one is that, of course, you'll be running cold, right? But you're gonna suffer on your fuel economy.
Yeah, because you can't run operating at
At
operating
operating
temperature.
Yes,
The
because
thermostat.
because the ECU would always want you to run at
Yeah.
operating
Yeah.
temperature.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why it keeps on burning a lot.
Yeah, it gives you more fuel because it's
Yeah.
compensating.
To compensate the coldness of the engine. So
Yes.
for those of you who don't know what thermostat is, it's a tiny device that is placed in the
Thermostat
intake-
housing.
in the thermostat housing in the intake radiator.
Yeah, cooling system.
Yeah,
Or
the
it could be on the
intake
radiator
manifold.
itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Depends on the car.
So it regulates the temperature or the flow of water going
Regulates
into
the
the
flow.
engine and going out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, making it reliable, there's a lot of things involved in making it reliable. Like having a reliable boosted car that I have, like I took down the trip down to Namaguete and everything, took the trip back to Bugo and then back, and it speaks for itself that it's reliable.
Yeah.
But you know,
Very
there's a
much.
lot of things involved in that. It's
To
not
make it reliable.
to make it reliable.
Yeah.
I can tell you everything that I did in it because there's a lot of things involved.
Yeah.
Like even the machine shop.
Mm,
Shout out to Edmel. Edmel, they're very good at it.
Mm.
They're very good at, you know, they have years of experience.
Mm.
Mr. Edwin Kaiko has years of experience building fast, reliable cars. And yeah, I take his advice. Massive respect for the guy. I take his advice, everything, you know. And also, one thing that makes your car run well is the oil pressure.
Oil
Right,
pressure.
exactly.
Oil pressure.
Mm.
Oil pressure, and you know, in order for you to achieve your oil pressure, use the right type of oil.
Yeah, there you go, guys.
Viscosity, yeah.
Right
So
type of
oil is
oil.
important.
That's
Very
why Berol Racing channel is here. And of course, guys, that's mainly coming from a guy who has a boosted car that isn't stock.
Yeah.
We can't call 490 wheels a V16 turbo stock though.
Yeah,
We
you
can.
know,
I'm
It's a
afraid
16.
not.
yeah,
It's a
exactly.
16.
But
Not in any world.
it is reliable. There you go.
Yeah, that's
It's-
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And that's the
If
main
you-
point there.
If
It's-
the
it's
Dumaguete
like-
trip wasn't
yeah.
enough,
Yeah.
it was driven in BXC.
Oh yeah, but he's still on the seat.
Exactly, a drag car in BXC.
Yeah.
So driven by Doris C.
Himself.
And the next day he had like a blistering hand.
Yeah, exactly. We saw that. It was really a car that was hard to control, but of course it endured.
It endured,
How many
yeah.
laps?
How many years did you build the engine?
No, it's funny thing about it. It always depends on the budget. So I gathered all the parts for 2 years.
Okay.
And once I had all the parts, you know, now it's time for me to put everything together and maybe try. I wasn't sure at first, to tell you the truth. I wasn't sure. You know, am I doing the right thing? Am I just throwing money at it?
Yeah.
So, you know,
But here we are.
here we are. And I was
With a video.
luckily we are successful.
Yeah.
It is. It
Well,
shows.
that's already being successful, being
Yeah.
reliable.
even for me, like I don't have like a boosted car, but damn, I'm so impressed by how like reliable it is. Not just from the
Drivable.
engine, but suspension wise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
not a
very drivable.
yeah, it's not a trailer car.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a trailer car.
Yeah, that's like something you could drive to the
Yeah.
track and drive back.
And then
home.
go home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Well, let me just share something. I mean,
Okay.
I tune cars that we bring to Bohol and Bugo, right? And the takeaway there all the time for me is, you know, the success would I would say that it was a successful race if all cars are driven back home.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, no one's being towed back.
Mm.
So luckily we haven't experienced that one yet.
That's gap.
Well, hopefully not anytime soon.
So,
No,
a
not
question,
Jake.
but
Crossing
for
fingers.
those who want to build, like, you know, to build an engine or a race car,
Yeah.
how would you start? Like, if I were
Where
to
would
build,
you
yeah,
start?
where will you start? Like,
Okay, the thing that I ask for people who wants me to build their engines and tune their cars, I always ask them what's the goal,
Yeah, exactly.
what's the purpose for the car, what is that you are projecting, because that depends. Your goal would depend on how much budget you're
Yeah,
gonna put into it.
that's true.
Yeah. So I think James Wano because of how OCD he is, he made a list of how much you have to spend in order for you to achieve this kind of horsepower.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he made that one. I don't know why he did that, but
But he did it.
But
he did it anyway.
that would definitely be a benchmark though. That's the best if like someone would
Yeah.
ask and then what build and then what horsepower. This could be a probably
Yes,
possible,
that's true.
right?
Yeah.
James really?
The budget will
Always
play a
dic-
big part.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
always
If
dictate.
you want higher
Yeah,
horsepower,
budget.
Exactly, because There are a lot of people, even in the US, right? When you're into cars, it definitely doesn't make any sense. It makes sense to us, but to
Doesn't
others,
make sense to them.
it's not, because it's definitely.
That's true.
You can't say it's practical though, right?
It's never
Yeah,
practical.
it's
It's a money pit.
It's a money
When you
pit.
are into cars, it's never
Yeah,
practical.
it's not.
We do it for the
practical.
smiles.
It's the end point or how you want the car for yourself.
For yourself, exactly.
Yes.
We're not doing it
You
like
build it
to
for
show
yourself.
off or nothing. We're just doing it to make ourselves happy, you know. Just to
Yeah,
feed
it's
the
never a
soul.
show off,
Yeah.
really. I mean, sorry guys. I mean, I'm not gonna brag or anything that I own that car. I mean, I'm proud to own that car, but it's not because to brag, you know. It's just to satisfy my curiosity,
Yeah.
Yeah.
my curious mind.
We do it for ourselves. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Evo
Very
STI.
Evo or
a
STI.
long conflict with Mr. Gemini Park Center, France Lee. Evo or STI?
James Wano would have to answer that question. But for me, you know, if I would have to answer that,
Yeah.
it depends on what is your plan. You know, what is your goal? You know, if you want to have like a 600 horsepower Subaru, be ready to spend.
Yes.
There you go.
And if you want a good, reliable 600 horsepower 4G63, still the same.
Yeah.
Stu.
And always,
Hey,
but to put it that way, there's always a con. Like, bro, like, for example, it's known that the transmission on the Mitsu is.
yeah,
And
that's
then on
right.
the
There's a pros and cons on
Yeah.
it. Really depends on
Okay.
what you
Yeah, there
So,
you go.
okay, if I were to take that one.
Yeah, as
But
a
your personal
Okay,
opinion,
my
Miguel.
personal opinion.
That's
Okay,
a
my
true
personal
opinion.
opinion. It's like having a, you know, it's having like a relationship. You know,
Okay.
you have to accept.
Relationship.
No,
Listen, you have to
no,
listen.
listen, you have to accept the flaws.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, like I don't like this because you know it's got a bad ringland problem, and then this one's got bad transmission. You know, you just have to accept the fact that they have those flaws.
Those imperfections, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it doesn't really matter for us.
Yeah.
Safe answer like an evil. It's true. Oh, there's a question from our viewers, Sean Jimena. Good day. Is a Toyota Vios 1.5 a good platform for tuning?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
For tuning, okay. Any internal combustion engine, you could take the power anywhere. You know, make the volumetric efficiency better, make the head flow better and all. But you know, it depends on how much that you want to spend on that one because
Right.
it's hard to, you know, to
Pinpoint.
find a platform or a software to you know to flash that.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, I've seen from Manila that they boosted.
Yeah, Thailand people, it's mostly from Thailand that they do.
Yeah, or
flashing,
Thailand
yeah.
that they boosted those
Mm.
cars. Then you know, I wouldn't.
Personally,
I mean, Lord would testify like you know he would he likes his Vios, but you know the understeering bit I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, we'll get more into tuning later as
Yeah.
we will be discussing more about
More
the
about
importance of tuning. You know, we'll be breaking the
Segments.
the myths of why it's not important to tune. Like
Yes, that's true.
tuning is only for the fast
Debunking,
cars.
yeah.
diba?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later.
Right.
Yep. Kenneth Savage, bro, shout out. Ray Bunying, dugo man akong ilong gawatch, oy, more power to Berol.
Sorry guys, I could only express myself well in English. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lisod kayo mag-Bisaya.
The third one.
Yeah, that's I mean,
how are we supposed to dominate the world?
Yeah, we
Oh.
can dominate the world if we don't use the universal language.
Universal. You have to do this, huh?
Gio Frey,
intergalactical language.
Gio from By TV, shout out.
Hello.
Shout out to you.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Right, so for now we will be taking a quick break. And when we are back, we will be talking more about tuning and the importance of it and the myths about it.
Yes.
Because we need to really
Exactly.
take that in.
Yeah, so stay tuned, guys.
Stay tuned.
Stay
Like
tuned.
literally, like literally
tuning.
stay tuned.
And tune in.
Yeah, diba?
There's a lot of tunes here, guys.
And stay fresh,
And
right?
stay fresh.
And stay fresh.
Like Doris Diner, guys.
Like Doris Diner. And
Venice Bakeshop.
Venice Bakeshop.
We'll talk about more about our sponsors on the next episode.
We use the latest lubricant technologies to keep your industries running. Berol gives you the performance you want,
Did I do well, guys?
the efficiency you need, and the value you deserve. Berol Lubricants. We're your total lubricant solutions partner. We use the latest lubricant technologies to keep your industries running. Berol gives you the performance you want, the efficiency you need, and the value you deserve. Berol Lubricants. We're your total lubricant solutions partner. We use the latest lubricant technologies to keep your industries running. Berol gives you the performance you want, the efficiency you need, and the value you deserve. Berol Lubricants. We're your total lubricant solutions partner.
Yeah, Marina, kani XYNK.
Sync audio.
Sync na sync.
XYNK.
We use the latest lubricant technologies to keep your industries running. Berol.
We are back and fresh.
We're back now, guys. After our halftime, of course, we would like to welcome and thank our sponsors for this next segment. First of all, Betty's Bakeshop. Guys,
Thanks. Lamig kayo. Inihan.
Upo ka
fresh
tayo.
na fresh din tayo.
Upo ka
They're
tayo.
available sa Food Panda, Grab,
Food.
online at their Facebook page. You can get them fresh as F.
Gutom na si Mike.
Igotong ko, pare.
Let him try the freshest.
Yes. Shout out to Miss Gwendolyn Yap of Betty's Bakeshop. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
For supporting
Naulog the
Berol
market.
Music Channel.
Yeah.
Of course, none other than our sounds and entertainment sync and XYNK.
Our live stream.
Our live
microphones.
stream is not possible
God
without
damn.
you guys.
So
Yeah,
soft.
But
It's so
Diba?
soft. Like, my God.
Yes, if you want.
mini mukbang here, guys.
Where are they?
And then, makabaw siya mo sa ka-fresh kay si Mike na ingon na.
Mo yan.
If Mike says it's fresh, it's
Dili pa
fresh.
siya ingon bro nga kanang isi mo to niya igitilaw lang.
Mini pagtilaw, fresh dude.
Fresh din.
Fresh nga.
Dapat may, diba?
Guys, fresh.
But ito
now.
guys, it's really good.
Guys, if you need live stream setup, Sennheiser.
Sennheiser mics, Andor lights. Hit them up. XYNK. Of course, we would like to thank Mr. Yaron Messina for bringing us Marina Seafood
Marina
Food
Seafood.
House. Thank you, sir. Nadia siya sa mong likod.
It's really good.
Oh,
Lamig.
Sorry.
Mr. Mukbang King.
exactly.
mukbang
Guys.
king.
Follow him on his YouTube. He has mukbangs for the food. that
Celebrity
are
driver.
Mo bito.
Celebrity race car driver.
Celebrity racer.
Celebrity racer. Celebrity.
Yaron, sorry, we have the microphone, you don't.
Full good celebrity.
Celebrity.
Mukbang race car driver.
Yes.
Too many to mention.
You regretted that day you roasted me.
But anyhow, Marina is you can
You
check
can
them
visit
out
them.
at all
Major
SM.
malls. Yeah.
Major malls.
You can say all malls in Cebu.
Yeah. So
Mostly.
mainly all SM branches, Ayala, and Robinson's Gallery and Cybergate.
Yep.
And if you want to get their main branch here in Talamban, guys, tok-tok lang mo.
Asa sa Yaron.
Silingan na sila ni Franz Lee sa Gemini.
Which is France Lee of
Gemini Car Center, pili lang mo, ganang mo car parts, if gusto mo.
And speaking of car parts,
Yeah, there you go.
Gemini Auto Parts, we couldn't thank him enough
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Fransley.
for the support sa mga boy racers.
Yeah, sa car
Everyone
community.
there. You, me.
Yeah.
Wala may masabi.
Yeah.
Wasabi.
I would like to shout out
Shout out sa
to my wife.
Ako, ay magpa-shoutout na ako.
Plus si James, no? Asa ang naay aftermarket issue.
Yeah.
So we're-
Ano man siya, si James gani, basta mo tune na siya. Hindi na siya kailangan ng flash. Kaya he doesn't want to go through the spreadsheet kasi na Excel, kapuyan na siya magsubay na.
So speaking of tuning,
Okay.
while we're back here, we're gonna talk more about tuning. What is tuning? The mix of tuning and anything tuning.
Yeah. Pros and cons. Of course, we have the right guy to ask.
Yes.
So why not
Get
use
it
and
from
abuse?
him.
Big guy for it.
Big guy.
Okay.
Here we go.
So, what are the myths that you have heard of? Then? Let me ask you back a question.
Good question. So what are they?
Oh,
The myth.
main myth. Ang tuning para daw sa kargado masakyanan or kanang loaded or built. Di ba? Term, sorry guys. That's the term I'm going to use na. Loaded. So
Cargado is
kargado,
loaded
you know.
in Cebuano.
Yeah, sorry
Yes.
for the
Sorry for our vernacular
misunderstanding, but
language.
Yeah. Okay. What's the question again? Yeah.
Tuning.
Tuning.
What is the tuning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I say when you tune your car, it's basically, I mean, most of us, maybe we're running older cars, diba? And as our car age, we call it volumetric efficiency,
Yeah.
diba? We call it the efficiency of each cylinder you know, the cylinder, how much air and fuel is coming in. So we have to check if it is still maximizing the efficiency of the engine. So let's say you're running an all-motor vehicle. The efficiency of an all-motor vehicle, you're lucky to have 80% volumetric efficiency.
Out from
After how many?
Even from stock, you're lucky to have 80%.
From stock.
Wow.
80%.
There's
Yeah.
like there's
Okay,
there.
even brand new?
All motor, I'm talking all motor.
Yeah, okay.
Diba? So all motor, you cannot, it's not efficient. You're lucky to have 80%
No.
VE.
But like over time, does it like go down?
It
Yes,
decreases
it,
po.
will. It decreases, yeah.
Over
But muna siya, that's why you need to have it tuned or have it checked.
Yeah.
And whatever, if you want to keep the car, keep the car running and make it reliable, then you have to go to tuning.
Yeah.
Let's say you own let's say, for example, most of when I started with Honda, so I'll
Speak the Honda language.
yes, I know. Okay, you run a 94 Honda Civic ESI, and then you see the odometer running at 100k plus. Then you will say like it's an old engine, right?
Yeah.
And then how well will it do in terms of volumetric efficiency? Will it still perform? Of course, it depends on how it was driven and how it was maintained.
Yes.
So, first mong button to test it is you put it in the dyno.
Yeah.
You put it in the dyno, it's like, it rates 110. Okay, acceptable.
The dyno gets the baseline.
Yeah.
The
Good
baseline
How
thing
much
that
power
that
of
we
your car.
have like a dyno now here. in
Yeah.
Cebu, right? It's such a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Dyno box.
Dyno
Dyno
box.
box.
Yes.
Stage lights.
If you guys are wondering, we have a dyno here in Cebu. It's dyno box.
Yes.
It's in staging lines at reclamation area.
Yeah.
Go check them out.
Yeah, it used to be the late Jun Lim shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some of
That's
you
not
guys
all
are
of them.
familiar
Jun
with.
Lim.
Respects.
Yeah. So back to that. What was that? So when you say tune your car, it's not just inside the computer that you're changing. Also, you have to check the mechanical side, like the valve clearance. Is it up to spec? When was the last time you changed your timing belt? Because timing belts stretch over time, and was the cylinder head refaced? Because if the cylinder head was refaced, then you are raising the compression.
Yeah.
If you raise the compression, then you are much more prone to detonation.
Detonation.
So, muna siya ang mga things to look at, to consider if you're thinking of tuning, having your car tuned. So, when you say na ECU tuning, you want to have, there's two things you need to look at. Is your power band linear?
Yeah.
Are you, let's say you're running a stock ECU. A stock ECU for a 96 Honda up until 2000 is already running a knock sensor.
Okay.
So if the car hears a knock, then it would retard the timing.
So it will like
Oh.
safe mode itself.
Yeah.
Normally, naturally.
Yeah, it would have like something like a condition where if it hears like a knock sensor is basically like this, like a microphone. If it hears a certain frequency on the engine, like a frequency when I say like ding like that, or I don't know if that would
Yeah.
be the same as the knock would sound, but if it hears that, then it would back off on the timing and add more fuel
To compensate.
to compensate.
So it's like safe
So that
mode.
Yeah.
So that would make it like more inefficient fuel-wise, economically.
Yes, that's right. That's why you have to look at the dyno, because the dyno will always tell you everything.
Yeah.
It tell you the data.
Yeah.
So if you guys are wondering that dynos are only for
Tuning.
cars that are
Being
for
raced.
racing,
Yeah,
no,
racing.
No, it's not.
it's more of getting the baseline data of your car.
Yeah.
And all of the
Actually, very important.
Yeah, and it also helps, especially when we already have a dyno, and if you want to buy a second-hand car,
yes.
I think
Actually,
that's the best way to test a car. Is to put it
It would be a bit expensive, but
yes. But if you wanna be
No,
sure,
you want to be sure,
that's true.
How much though? How much
Big,
is it
bro.
like for a
Like we have a friend, Mr. What's that? Philip
Yeah.
Canlim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out,
oh,
sir.
shout out Philip Canlin. Shout
Team
out sa Team
Haplas.
Haplas.
So he brought his Honda Civic, not Honda Civic, his Honda Jazz dyno.
Earlier, the one earlier.
The
red one.
Yeah. So we placed. I just forgot the figures, but we said like 'cause we used it for the calibration of the dyno. So it's like it was up to it showed us a good number. So it was like this is what the manufacturer said. Then it was up par with it.
Yeah, so
So well maintained.
Well maintained. Yeah. I don't know about how much he carries load on the car. Kargahan ko na yung siminto.
Workhorse.
It's literally a daily workhorse.
But under like dynos, how much would it cost?
Yeah, if I wanna.
Dyno would cost you 4,500 per hour. No, on your initial
First
engagement
hour.
4 hours, and then 2,500 succeeding hours. I'm not sure, but as what Lord said, that it's an introductory price. But it's an introductory price would maybe last I don't know how long.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the price for now.
Come by, guys, while it's in
Yeah, I know.
the price that it's right now.
I think it's better though if you wanna buy it and expend. Not so that if you wanna be sure about the car
Yeah,
that
why
you're
not?
buying now,
Yeah.
because you cannot really say that it's in good condition without the data.
That's right.
If you're,
True.
especially if you're an OCP.
Yeah,
Right.
data is very important. Yeah.
Speaking of being or dynoing a car that you have a prospect for, it would, as what Chris said, it's gonna give you all the data that's needed there. So you might as well, they would know what needs to be replaced, and that could be your benchmark of,
We have diagnosed several cars already that
Yeah.
would go back to the shop. Okay, it needs this, it needs that. We fixed it, and then another thing popped up beside. Then so bring the car to the shop again and fix it. And hopefully, humano to ng mga cars. There are a few, but that's a good way of testing the cars that we've already fixed. And dyno is the best storyteller
And safest.
and the safest.
And the
Yes.
The safest is.
I don't want that UC Med thing happening to me again.
So you were tuning that time.
I was tuning. I was technically not tuning. I was just testing it for the last time because I wasn't the one who's tuning. I was the one who's operating the laptop. I had someone driving. And so I didn't have the feel of the car, the throttle, and everything. It's like, can I have a go? So I had a go. Unluckily, that was my demise.
Yeah.
I have
I hugged a post.
Yeah, knows. Yeah, so dynos are like.
Richie, shout out ko ni Mikey Camosa.
Oh, thank you. Dineri, shout out na po, sir. I love you, sir.
So what was that? So
Yeah. Going back now, so since we already have a dyno, but what would be really mainly the advantages of having a dyno tune and a street tune?
Yeah.
okay, there.
Yeah.
I could show you graphs here, my phone, showing how I did the dyno run and how I did the street tune. So I had like old maps here that had VTEC points and timing on different, it's katagwa, so it's all over the place. So we fine tune it. So changing the VTEC point actually raises the power up top.
Racist.
Yeah. So it's like what we call it, like the inertia. If you have the power, we call it MBT, maximum brake torque.
Okay.
So it reaches MBT much better.
If you put VTEC on a higher RPM?
No, it depends
Oh,
on
okay.
how, because I think I've mentioned this one to lots of people before. Every engine
Behaves differently.
behaves differently, it breathes differently, it runs differently, it has different characteristics, personalities. So maybe it was casted the same, but it wasn't driven the same.
Yes,
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like we have old cars, and we didn't know the history of those cars, like who built those cars. Diba? So, parts na, let's say, for example, we had VTEC engaging at 6,000.
Okay.
Because it feels right when you were at the street. Like 6,000 people, whoa, it surges. Like, no.
That's
What it,
for
it was evident, no, because he was using a aftermarket cams.
So it's high, right?
Oh, so higher. So you could see the graph actually dipped in and then surged back up. So what happened is that we moved the VTEC point a bit down earlier, and then actually gained a lot top.
To keep it linear as well.
Yeah, because you know the air velocity and everything. It had like a weird dip and then it surges up.
Probably like
So
bump
when
down
you-
a bit. Then
the goal is
up.
right
Yeah.
there.
And then you can't feel that one on the street. You can't feel that one. Your butt dyno wouldn't be able to tell that.
The butt dyno.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to maximize every inch
Yeah,
of
yeah,
power,
of course, because we're not spending, we're not spending 5 pesos on our engines. We're spending.
Thousands. No, we have to make sure that
We have to make sure it's worth it.
It's our investment.
Yeah.
Investment.
We call it investment.
For our
It is.
sanity. It's for our
our
sanity.
sanity.
It's our therapy bill.
Yeah, it's a therapy. So
Exactly.
that's the difference between street tuning and
Yeah.
dyno tuning. There's a massive difference. I mean, Lord would tell me when we first did the dyno, when we were putting up the dyno and we were testing things, and he's just like, try it street tuning that. I mean, he said that one sarcastically, then try street tuning that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that's true, Lord. We can't street tune that kind of power.
You can really feel it.
And another priority is safety, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, another like
And try to, I mean, to think about it, try to street tune a 490 horsepower.
Exactly.
I don't know
Where,
how you
what
get
road?
what stretch
that you-
of road,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
maybe Berol.
I mean, these guys rode the car, and you'll be the next one to ride the car. No, don't worry. I mean, they could testify that it's a stable car.
Yes, it is.
Very
Surprisingly, yes.
As a
Reliable.
person that likes track racing, I'm jealous of how stable his car is compared to mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when the first thing I always do when I ride someone's car when it comes to is safety, safety.
Yeah, how it rides.
Yeah, how it rides, how
How it holds.
suspension.
Yeah.
Because the engine it can be fast.
Yeah.
You have the option to make it fast. Diba?
But I
This
will
fast is on another level. It's
I
like
will say
VTEC
when you
turbo.
do when you ride in, fasten your seatbelt and your spirit and your soul. You gotta fasten them all.
You have to fasten those seatbelts.
Yes, 4, 5, I don't know.
It's a different feeling.
Yeah, boosted is there.
It's just a massive turbo and a small engine. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
A turbo with an engine.
They both own an engine on a turbo.
Oh, exactly.
But now it's a turbo on an engine.
So there you have it, guys. So not only does power also need a tune, but especially with that power you need traction as well, right? So how
Oh,
is
yes.
that? Yeah, there you go.
Right.
So,
Well, with traction,
another factor.
that's a problem. I mean, as you see, when we shot the video, we didn't have traction. We were praying for traction. That's why you saw the belt shredded into pieces, right?
shredded. It's in the
Radiator
video.
belt.
It's actually in the video. I included the belt, the shredded belt.
Oh, yeah,
You
the
saw the video earlier.
Yeah.
There was
That wasn't planned, guys. It's just
it
that
happened.
It happened.
That happened on
the
the fly.
alternator belt like just ripped off.
Yeah. Because of 9,500 RPM. It was like banging the RPM down. So yeah, that's the idea. And what was that you were saying, Sinas?
Yeah,
Tires.
is it just all about power, or you also need to make sure that power is planted, and that's
Yeah.
And
Well,
if it-
I have already prepared because I'm planning to clock my car anytime soon. I mean, I couldn't, it's not bragging or whatever, but I haven't got the time slip for it, but we're aiming for a good number. We're aiming for a good time with the help of friends like Lord, James, and my team, my crew, Yaron and Doris. I'm pretty sure we could clock in a good time for that car. I mean, they say that it's an easy 12-second car, but we are.
We can
we could go a bit, a bit
I don't like
bit
the
lower.
But James is like our I don't know. Jednary is special. He's Jednary, but he is our reincarnated Jed now. He's James Owano. Kaya mga sama mo siya ni Lord.
So that's why that
James Owano.
like you're finally friends. Huh? Makes more sense.
Remember the
Yeah,
photo
the
of the
photos,
top?
yeah.
Oh, wala siya. So what a joke, inside joke.
But like, did James like learn from you, or did he like learn?
Yeah, how
from
He
you?
already knows how to the idea of internal combustion engine. He's been going out with Jed one time.
Jed,
And I mean, we
power of attorney.
power of attorney, and we call him the power of fatty.
James.
Just add F to ATT. Sorry, bro.
You're adding F to pay respects.
Yeah. So no, I've known Jed just for a short amount of time, but I mean it was a good whole year. We were shooting James's car. He went to the shop. He visits me when he's bored because everyone was locked down, and I was locked down inside the shop. And we were just talking tuning most of the time. That's why I think I've gained confidence because of that. And also, trying to about traction. We were talking about traction that time. Yeah, I prepared for it. I prepared axle. I prepared stick tires. I'm trying to. Also, my clutch right now, it's a street clutch compared to my twin disc, which you haven't.
I have not experienced.
You haven't experienced it.
I think it was more like.
I mean, I haven't. I mean, I think you have to show them, like the twin plate was like deformed. It was badly deformed.
Yes.
Do you have a picture?
Yeah, I do have a big photo.
You can send it. Like we can put it here.
So
This
the-
is
In the post, you can put it here for YouTube.
It was badly hurt, mate. Hold on. It didn't like it. That's the reason why. Yeah, look at that.
Wow. Open. It became a flower.
What the hell?
Yeah. So the
From
release
the-
bearing.
It just told.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe here.
Yeah.
I want to be free.
He didn't like it there. Like, I'm out of here.
So there you have it, guys. So when you're talking about those types of that range of a power 490 and above, you need to make sure to upgrade what needs to be upgraded to, right?
Yes, that's true. I mean, we call it I have friends or clients before that. Can we just use this because this is cheaper? Yes, we can, but it's up to you for reliability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think if you're aiming that much high, that numbers, you shouldn't cheap out.
You don't should because our frustration would come back on you.
Because you know the saying, cheap parts break
Break
hearts.
Yeah.
Hindi ko makadungog ka nila.
Based on experience.
Oh, based on experience. But that's true, guys. So why would you, like, for example, don't
Cheap
cheap out or don't try to see what the lesser option is? Because in the long run, it's not as a saying, mga measure twice, do it once.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
So at least magsige kag sugod, but at least katong part na gani nga sakto na gyud diha, which is right for them, which is suggested and recommended by your builder and tuner, that will definitely make their life easier, and also you will be more fulfilled because once your car is out, it's a less headache for you.
Yes,
And you
that's
drive
true.
it after.
Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, I still use like those Lazada racing, but
Another race thing.
it's not the bits that is really critical.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not those rotating assemblies or nothing to do with the sensors or those critical parts.
Yeah.
I still use those, but
Not to the point
Not
where
the-
it's in the engine.
yeah. Like even the measuring tools, like the wideband, the oil pressure. I don't use those. I use legitimate parts for that because accuracy is
Yeah,
king.
definitely.
Yeah,
When you're tuning, it's decimals
Yeah.
mainly.
Yeah, it's a bit like trying to measure the wideband.
The freshness band.
You don't want to explain further.
You don't explain further.
Guys.
Not,
But it's fresh.
NSFW.
Not safe for work.
That's it.
Not safe for work. They're not saying I'm not safe for work,
Facebook
but
community standards. What?
Yeah,
yeah, we have standards.
So let me just mention this thing. Like there was this question. It's like, you remember when we were talking about naming cars?
Naming cars.
Naming your car.
Mm.
I mean, we were talking about like I don't really name my
Yeah.
cars. I mean, I don't really name my car. And this is the only car that
Yeah, exactly.
this is the only car that it has to be named.
Yeah.
So
It comes to that point now.
It came to that point. It has to be named.
Why? Why did you name it Kit?
So wait, what's the name?
Why?
Kit?
I call it Kit.
Yeah, Kit.
Really?
K-I-T, yeah.
Ah, I don't know.
It sounds playful.
I wanted to ask.
Very close again, guys.
What's the
I'm so
name?
sorry.
I wanted to ask. I don't. Now I know. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just a name that I thought about, and because it's like a free spirited car, and you know, it's fun and it's exciting.
And for me, I think it really suits the car, bros. In the past, you were dealing with a green EK,
Yeah.
until John White VTI came,
Yeah.
until again it became it's still an EK, but of course a hatch now.
Yes.
So it's an evolution. So
Yeah.
that's mainly what cars are all about.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of passion for cars. I mean, we're not on the questions anymore, but you don't mind me just
Yes,
talking,
it's fine.
just talking nonsense.
Yeah. That's why we're here. We're not gonna talk about
So
nonsense.
it's just the idea of the passion. And I know Lance's passion. I know yours, and hopefully I know yours.
I think you do.
Yeah, but it's just we have different perspective on cars, but we all share the same passion, which is the car.
Yeah, exactly.
It might
Common
be
denominators.
it might be the looks for you, it might be the engines for me, it might be the suspension for Lord and Doris.
Comfort.
Yeah, comfort. Or just taking care of the car. I mean, we still love it.
For some, it might be just the detailing, though.
That's true, yeah.
It really depends. That's why the community is important, because everyone would be able to converge
Yeah.
and talk about the things that they're good at, and the other one or the other guy is good at, and then they can just
You can share
talk about-
knowledge, learn everything.
Yes.
And again, let me just say it here. I mean, I'm no expert, but I'm always trying to be
Right.
one,
Right.
and it's always every day is a new learning day for me. I'm still a student,
Yeah.
always a student, and also I'd like to ask, I look up people that's been there, and then huge shout out to those guys, because without them, maybe you could testify to this. Without them, kita na sa ano ba? I want to be like that. I want to build those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the good thing about today, it's car code. Speaking about the love for cars, it's more accessible because of social
Social
media.
media.
That's
Like
true.
before, you have to buy magazines,
Yeah, before.
watch TV for special features,
True.
something like that.
To inspire you.
Yeah, so right now you have every
Avenue.
avenue
Yeah.
to learn about cars. And
To know about the people in
Yeah.
the community.
Yeah.
it's more of
Maybe that's why we're here.
Yeah,
'cause,
actually,
making
that's why-
most of it.
Now maybe it's my
BRC
time for sorry, bro.
it's okay.
Maybe it's my time to ask you guys now.
okay.
Yeah. So have you had those moments where you have a broken car,
Of course.
and then
Shit.
it actually consumes your day of thinking about it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, share us your experience.
No.
Oh no.
I mean,
But I think
Generally.
it's generally, I think that's what a car guy is, bro.
yes.
Because mainly, other people were saying, lagi car guy ko, car guy this, but if it takes your day and you can't do anything right because of that thing, I think that's what the essence of a car guy is.
That's true.
Because it's not already an accessory, an appliance, or something that they have
It's like a
It's
part.
you.
Yeah.
It's part of life.
Yeah, exactly. It's you. Okay, if it doesn't run, you can't run. If it runs well, you run well.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's the
True.
connection there.
Yeah,
Right?
you don't.
Your
Well,
car's health is equal to your own
Exactly.
That's
health.
Di ba?
And not physical health.
Mainly-
But
Mainly
The mental health.
Yeah, mental health.
talking about our fellow two-wheel riders there. I
Yeah.
think that's what mainly
Yeah, that's what they
riding is. It's a therapy.
Yeah, it's not about like the cars, but it's more of the motorcycles as well. You can relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very passionate about what they have.
Hindi makita mo daw.
I could relate to how much they put an effort in their car or their motorcycles, and That's pretty much the same as cars, really. I mean, with cars and motorcycles, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Because
it's the
like
same.
driving motorcycle, driving the car, those cars or four wheels, it's a bit like freedom for us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true. It's more like not being specific to the ride, but it's like man and machine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's a drive that we have innate. I think it's because of being men. There are don't get me wrong. There are a lot of
Women.
female
Also like
drivers there, but
cars.
you know, it's in us that it's like innate in us that we want to drive.
Yeah.
May it be slow, may it be fast, but we just love cars.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
whatever horsepower you're
Yeah.
running, it's just for the fun of driving or fun of building.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, the love of cars started when I was a little man, but it really started when I bought my 78 Lancer. So that's where I get to really know cars in detail. It was because when I bought the car, it was not running well.
Ah, yeah, that's
You
the
know,
journey.
I had bad experiences with mechanics and all that. I decided that I will do it myself. So that's why me and my lolo, we built the engine.
Nice,
Bonding.
nice.
And
Bonding
by
to
testing
cars.
it, I joined motocross or autocross.
Yeah, I
before,
remember.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran it so that I can test the reliability of the engine. I made a daily driver, and then along the way I met the awesome people.
Yeah.
That's why car community is really about connections, building connection, not just cars, but for people as well. Because when you get to know the people behind the awesome cars,
I think that's the main
Yeah.
gist. The
Okay.
cars are the bridge for
Yeah,
people.
For people
You
to,
know,
Is that-
to unite,
when
to,
you don't
to become a
realize-
community.
Because we need to think about it. Like people who have cars right now, I think they're on. There are people that don't want to get that attention, but they just want to. They also want to
Feel it.
connect.
Yeah.
yes.
And when they build a car, like when you're at the show, someone who doesn't even own a car, but he approaches you, it's like so fulfilling.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very fulfilling.
He gets me, or
Yeah.
he's interested in what I've worked on, right? So I think that's the main point why we need to make sure that the car community is alive.
Yeah.
Live and kicking.
That's why. Go for it.
Yeah, Cebu to be specific,
Yeah.
not that the Cebu car community is, it's not really because of the pandemics and all that. It's more of getting involved with the motorsport side of Cebu. There are a lot of avenues. If
Yeah, there's
you
a
want
lot of
drifting, if
avenues.
you want rallycross, you want just,
Time
the
attacks,
we have lots of that.
Yeah, overland.
We'll
There's a lot.
do that in the different segments of our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason why I had the car drove to Dumaguete is not to prove the point. It's actually enjoying the car.
Yeah, there we
That
go.
would
I mean, you spend. I'm not gonna say
No, you invested.
I stand corrected, bro.
Invested in yourself.
Yeah, I invested money on that one. So why not enjoy it?
Exactly.
diba? So there's no point of having the car in the garage, just sitting there, be pretty all day, and without enjoying it on a ride.
Yeah,
diba? So I enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
it's the ride.
I think that's
It's the journey.
Yeah, that hits it.
Yeah, it's not the destination, it's the
It's
journey.
the
Yeah.
journey itself.
Sometimes like people just don't get it.
Yeah, they don't.
Sometimes, yeah. But like we understand because
I think
it's
that's
a
why-
car people thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's why the car community, even though we think we're so big, but it's still a minority, not only in Cebu, but I think it's in the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people sometimes don't get it, but of course we just love it.
It's like
You have like other people have their own hobbies, right? They have other things that they are busy with. So this is
They're
this is our
passionate
activity.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you just can't explain.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make
Like
sense.
if I ask you,
You know,
if I ask someone who bikes, like, why do you love biking?
yeah, true.
Like,
It's a different conversation.
That's true.
Yeah, diba?
Exactly, like a bike could be like 6 or 7 digits, and we would say that could be like a built engine for us. So
Yeah.
it's really this.
So it's
You know,
just like about passion.
Yeah.
And also, I get this. I mean, I had this one just recently, inked on me. It's memento mori. We're all gonna die. I mean, why not enjoy life right now? Because we never know when it's gonna be our last. So live life as if it's your last. So, I mean, I don't know. These guys say my post that I've been driving like non-stop every night.
Every night.
I'm actually jealous because I still want to drive like late night, but because of the pandemic and curfew,
Yeah.
like I can't. I really miss that like
The reason why the reason why I just drive at night
Yeah.
is because it's quiet
Yeah.
and they're not gonna bother chasing me, mate.
They can't chase you.
Joke.
It's another way of saying they can't chase you.
Excuse me, eat my dust though.
I was just kidding.
Bang.
Woo, a different kind of bang.
The good kind of bang.
Yeah.
Oh
The
dear.
bang. Talk about cars.
Still cars.
I'm just making
You
sure.
know, the fresh guy here, you know.
Oh, come on.
I'm just making sure talk about cars and bang. I mean, like,
The what?
you know what I mean.
Don't ask why, but yeah.
But yes.
So, that's exactly it, guys. So, going back to our main topic. So, about street tune, dyno tune. It's again in staging lines, which is No Dalos.
Yeah.
For our late Mr. Jun Lim, that's in tribute to him, guys. Cris Yap, Lord Cheno, Ace
Norris.
Cortez, Mr. Norris C,
Cortez,
John Velasco.
James Wano, they're all there. Mr. John Velasco, of course. They are an avenue for you guys to make sure that they are able to check on your cars.
And also shout out to those guys like Lord and John because their goal is to actually keep the car community or the car scene
Yeah.
alive here in Cebu.
The OGs
The
of
pillars,
OGs.
yeah, the pillars of car community here.
Yeah, the pillars.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like when I was starting out, it was actually them who actually welcomed me in autocross. Because I was alone. I never had like
Yes.
I had no groups. I had no friends. But then
Yeah.
they were very welcoming into like even though I had like a Honda City, and you don't really see Honda Cities racing. So
Yeah.
it was very nice for them to be very welcoming to the streets.
That's the thing, it's not really, when there's a community, we don't really judge the cars.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
It's the love for the cars.
We love all cars. We love all cars.
It's even more interesting to see an A to B car being driven.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
In
for
a
Honda
motorsport
City,
scene,
it's,
diba?
it's uncommon, but it's definitely interesting to see that it's even one of the most nimble cars that we see in the track.
That's true.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
So going back to like tuner myths.
Going back to tuner myths.
Or like you have
Yeah.
any other
other
myths that you
experiences.
wanna debunk.
Debunk.
Yeah, what was that?
I can Google this one first.
What are the mga sulti-sultis about tuning?
Ikaw, yeah. What do you think?
Like,
Myths.
yeah.
Well, one myth that I just recently debunked, or been telling this over and over again. When you go to a gas station,
Oh.
when you go to a gas station,
Oh.
The most expensive place.
yeah, the most expensive place to spend our money on.
Into the most expensive place.
If your girl asks you that they wanna go on a date in the most expensive place,
Yeah.
Take them to the gas station.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is the myth. They say that octane is how you try to fight detonation, diba?
Yeah.
So they try to use the highest octane that they could use. Thing is, we go to the pump gas. You look at each nozzle. It says 95 RON. The other one's
There, yeah.
93
The
RON,
type of fuel.
and then 97 RON. So that's RON is not octane.
Yeah, there you go.
And RON is
Who's wrong?
Heck is Ron. Dang it, Ron.
yeah. So RON is an EU way of measuring octane,
Okay,
or octane is a way of Americans measure
Yeah.
RON. So our idea now is because since we are very American here in the Philippines, very Yank in a way.
Just like the accent.
Oh, Cheerio. Wait, that's not American.
So our idea now is actually 93 RON is 89 octane,
89 octane.
Oh.
and 95 RON is actually 91 octane.
Oh.
No,
I didn't know.
no, 95. Yes, 91.
Mainly, guys, it's like when we're talking about shoes, it's like there's a Euro size and a
And
US
the
size.
US size.
Yeah, so that's the
So
main.
US usually makes
Yeah.
it larger.
And then 97 RON
It's a joke.
is actually 93 octane.
93.
Wow.
97 is 93.
Oh,
Okay.
so
Now you know. No, I didn't know that. I didn't
The
know
more
that.
you know.
yeah, so that's how you measure your octane rating. So if you want the real 100 octane, the real, well, you're talking about race gas already. So you can't buy race gas off the pump.
You can.
You can't.
You can't.
No,
You
there.
can't.
Not unless you are in a racing circuit
Yeah, you're in a
somewhere in the
racetrack.
States or whatever.
So is someone
So
on Blaze
yeah,
100?
is it like
really
100 octane?
100?
I don't remember.
They say that, as I've heard from someone, they said that they're required by law to put their pumps 97. It's anything over, I don't know, whatever. There's some legalities
Yeah,
in
okay.
terms of that. But
But I do have a noob question regarding
Noob
like, I'm just gonna like
Get ready.
just gonna be honest. So like regarding gasoline, can you mix lower octane with higher octane? I mean, is it advisable?
depends. So, is your car running low octane?
It's running high octane.
So don't mix lower octane.
No, so don't mix it.
Yeah. Not unless you are running low
Low
octane, low octane fuel, and you put high
Okay.
octane, then there's no problem. But the thing about that one is that high octane fuel burns slower.
Slower. Yes, that's why the higher the number of
Octane.
the higher
That's
the
why
spark.
Fortuner is
sparking.
like lesser detonation if you have high octane gas. No?
Yes, that's true.
Okay,
Right?
mo early man siya buto if for example the unleaded one, diba? That's the pinakaubos na it detonates early.
Yeah, inani ko sa James na visual yung nilagay ko pagkatao. Imagine this is the piston, and then this is your combustion chamber, right? If you compress your air and fuel, your air, if you compress air, it will heat up.
Oh, and then mix
But
with fuel, that's when
yeah, so it is already mixed. So ang idea na there is when the intake stroke, intake valve open, and that's intake stroke, and compress ka, and compress mo, ang kana siya dala ang hottest bit sa inyong kwanis, ang kana pang iyahang combustion chamber. So ang idea is mo detonate ka dala kay mo na siya ang inyong hottest portion sa cylinder. So hottest portion sa cylinder is wala pa ni spark plug. Tungod sa temperature sa inyong combustion chamber,
hindi na siya daan.
dibuto na siya tungkol sa compression. So, mo na siya uncontrolled combustion. So, instead of having the piston upright na siya, like TDC na siya, it's doing its counter thing, it's going the opposite way.
Yeah.
So, that's like,
Because when it explodes, piston goes down.
Yeah.
So that's why.
So higher octane better, so that the spark plug can detonate it rather than chamber.
yeah.
No, Cebu. You have to ask. You have to ask.
Shout out to Michael Alvarez. Shout out Bomba Boys.
Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Alvarez.
Hello.
Lord Seno.
What is a shout out?
Excuse me, what's a shout out? Please explain.
Oh, first, ang ato ang pinaka-millennial, si
Yeah,
Dorson.
Yeah. The earliest, the youngest of the
James
millennials.
Juano, shout out sa Titos of Cebu, Lord Seno. Shout out to sa Titos of Cebu. Ay, mga Lord Seno. Ay,
Shots fired.
Fire.
Shots fired.
Sa mukha eh. So, any other questions you guys want to ask?
What else?
Yeah, so
What else would you like wanna share regarding like tuning?
Yeah, like for the last 5 minutes, bro, like what are the words that you can share with
Yes.
our viewers that could
What was it?
what words of advice and wisdom
advice.
Oh,
as
yeah.
a experience?
I'm not very wise or not very philosophical in my life, but
Experience.
I came to a point of I'm finding purpose. Nah. Come on. So, that's why keep on asking, keep be curious.
Yeah, be
Whatever that is.
Don't be afraid to
There was
Don't be
never
afraid
really
to
an answer to a question like right now, but if you want to ask him,
Yeah.
you can always approach him.
You can always
Yes.
reach out. There's
Very
Facebook.
approachable. He would even let you ride his car
Oh yes, anytime. As long as
anytime.
Just fasten your
But
seatbelts.
As long as be prepared, guys.
Just be prepared.
as long as it's running. No, the car, let me just share this one day with you guys. What they see now is the 490 na. And when we didn't know the struggle when
Getting
they,
the
when
490.
we had it like before, way before I just want to have like at least a 14-second car. And then I want to have the 13-second car. I want to have this. And they didn't know, but to get there, it's not overnight. It's not 2 months, 1 month. you know, you have to learn, you have to talk to people. The right people would, the right people you ask, you know, mas dali ka maabot sa mga destination.
Yeah.
Kay bisod kayo mo ask ka when people are not taking you seriously. So that's, you know, I've experienced those. But you know, forgive and forget. But you know, what I'm trying to say here is like, you know, let's be one. You know,
Let's be a community.
let's be a community. It's not that I'm trying to be pinamayo here, but you know, whatever I have right now, whatever small knowledge that I have right now,
Just because of the people here.
it's because of the people that was ahead of me, who helped me, and also, you know, be curious and, you know, always, you know, try to look for the answer nga paano ba nga musut sa imong plano, imong budget and everything. Yeah, that's what let me just share this point with Lance about he had his silver top before, and he was like he was like na problema din siya ato na part sa iyo. Kinabuak ko yung transmission bro, no? And I was like, ay ka problema na, kinagamay na ka na problema ha. You know, there was a point sa ako gani nga na mo na kapila nagubo ako makina nga siya. At the end of the day bro, passion mo maayo na siya. So mo to na niya okay na talan, and then you know, diba? Kabaw ko sa kaka-bother na itong mga day, days or weeks itong ano ba? Shit, yun ang mga disuran. I know how you feel. And then, you know, in order for us to fix that is, what can we do?
Yeah.
Is it beyond my control or I could do something about it? You know? So, muna ang idea mo nga, don't be too down sa whatever may tapos sa mga ito. At the end of the day, it's still fixable. Everything's fixable. So we suffer more in our mind than in reality.
Yes, that's true.
And that's why we drive.
I think that's why we have the cars that we have.
Yeah.
We may not have them now, but we have it in their mind. We have the
Sometimes
blueprint.
Yeah. So more na ganahan na, you know, hopefully na ma-improve na to nga tanan. Like I want someone stranger to me would be like talking to me like James and Mike said niya, you know, dili dali na sa makapuntan na. And don't expect a response to me instantly. Okay, we see you.
I can attest. I can attest to that. But it's fine. Busy lang dyan siya.
Pero kung mudapay mo sa shop, pwede tayo mag-story na yun.
Speaking of shop, so
Nasa ang
he owns the BRC project. So if you want to search it on Facebook,
Yeah.
Nasa?
It's located in Mandawi, sa Taninyo Giso, right
Yeah.
near Wasabi. So, so
project.
man, visit the page, you see a project, you can see.
A lot of cars being built. So if you wanna see, if you wanna, sorry, like, if you wanna, you know, look at look at a hands-on thing, then a shop is the best place for you to see the guys, the builders, and their element. Of course, just visit Mr. Cris Yap at BRC Project. He may not be there sometimes. He may be at Dino Box tuning a car. So again, guys, busy but so you know, on our free time, we're here.
And I'm also, you know, I do have a day job as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yes, certainly.
So that was fun, guys. That's great.
That was definitely episode 1, guys. Mr. Cris Yap, Project
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
I'm glad you stopped me from talking because I can
No, you wanna go on?
Yeah, we can go on.
Yeah, there's still bread.
And lastly, guys, we would like to shout out Team CRG,
Team
who is
CRG.
at Clark International Speedway right
Oh
now.
yes!
For our
Endurance race.
Petron
Cebu!
Endurance Challenge.
Represent.
Best luck.
Represent, best wishes. So
Two
guys,
things.
of course, be safe and
Be
bring
safe.
home the bacon. Again, this
We
is
know you
episode
will.
1. Feature Mr. Cris Yap of BRC Project.
Thank you.
TK4 build. James Morales again. PBJM, photos by Morales James Jr. Mike Hatamosa, Weird Folk Media. And again, your boy Lance here for Wasabi Factory, saying a wonderful Sunday. And again, we would like to thank all our major sponsors.
Berol Lubricants.
Berol Lubricants Philippines. Betty's Bake
Betty's
Shop.
Bake Shop.
Represent.
Marina